Yeah, I mean, EVs is really key, right? How does that play out? Is it going to be only light duty vehicles? Well, what will translate into heavy duty vehicles? We know, airplanes are going to still have to use jet fuel or SAF to fly. So we know there's going to be some, fossil fuel based demand for jet. But how do these markets evolve? Because then it boils down to feedstocks. If EVs adapt like some folks think, which is pretty aggressively, and we lose a lot of oil production, well, what comes with oil is the ethane, the propane, the butane, the other feedstocks that all of a sudden don't produce the oil, you're not going to produce those. And if you don't produce those and you still have that same chemical demand, you're going to have to go back to naphtha, which is a heavy cost feed, and it creates a whole new dynamic about making naphtha on purpose. Today you make naphtha, it's kind of a co-product. In the future, it could be an on-purpose product, which means anything on purpose has to have a higher value than the feed, the crude oil that you start with. And I think this is the piece of the puzzle we're really looking at. What happens to oil, and then what happens to petchem feeds, and how do we bridge from point A to point B with this aggressive energy transition? And chips are a sign, and we're watching how that works, and batteries and windmills in green. But I look at the carbon footprint regularly too, more from a strategic long-term perspective. And there's still a lot of population that uses very, very little electricity, which you could imagine as those developing regions continue on that spectrum of development, they're going to want more. And, wind and solar just aren't the answer, or hydro. So maybe nuclear, but, so we're going to need more fossil fuels. So it's, again, this ebb and flow between growth and developing regions growing, developed regions pulling back a bit, and where does that balance ultimately play out?